Alright, another fly segment of Eazystar's Variety Society. And with this segment, it's a continuation of the series I'm having with the natural success, where success is defined by your ability to line yourself up with nature through yourself. Let that ego go. We already discussed, go back and check out the segments if you need to, on the chakra. And we're using these as tools for you to go ahead and meditate, get your mind right. So the first segment was meditating through the chakras. And the chakras deal with yourself on a local aspect. Then we went on ahead and dealt with meditating through the elements, which is like your near environment, the nature that's near you, around you, and surrounding you. And with this segment, we're going to go ahead and deal with meditating using the planets and what they stand for and what aspects of yourself they deal with and relate to. All right. See that flyer? That's a nice little graph right there. Now, let's go on and first deal with the planets. Are kind of like divided up into three different sections: the interior planets, the superior planets, and the outer planets. We're going to start with the interior planets, and the interior planets deal with the inner self, starting with the sun and the moon being luminaries, meaning they deal with the light. Of course, the sun is the center that gives the light to hold all the planets in place. Moon being the reflection of the sun, and it's called a luminary. You know, that's discussable. And then we have Mercury and Venus, and they're the interior planets because they deal with Earth, and then all the from Earth going into the sun, basically interior planets within the Earth's range. All right. So we start out with the sun, and the sun is what it represents. When you want to meditate on the sun, you can get the frame of mind or the spirit of it's the source of consciousness and life within us all. It is our will to be and our sense of individuality, right? The sun represents our higher self or spirit. It is the immortal spark of the universe, the immortal, not mortal, not temporary. You know what I'm saying? It is the immortal, continuum thinking spark of the universe spirit, which is uniquely ourselves. It is the planet of Leo, which again deals with the spirit of I will, which is related. So then the next luminary, or the next planet we're going to discuss, is the moon. And the moon represents memories, feelings, and instinctive responses that lie just below the level of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? When you out working like there, and then when you say you in a discussion with somebody, and what you discussing on the surface, that's your consciousness, but underneath there, your emotions go through different changes depending on the dynamic of the conversation. That's that moon area. You know what I'm saying? That moon area is right below the level of consciousness. And it symbolizes the ebb and flow of feeling and emotion, and the feminine principle in nature and the individual. The feminine principle in nature and the individual. Moon is the planet of Cancer. So Cancer is the sign, and I feel is the spirit. So when you meditate on the moon, I feel will be related. Moving along. Mercury is the next interior planet, and Mercury, when you meditate on Mercury, frame of thought, frame of mind, spirit is it represents the principles of communication, mentality, thinking patterns, rationality, and reasoning, also adaptability and variability. If you look at the previous segment, we dealt with mutability, and you can see that variability playing in because Mercury is related to Gemini and Virgo, which are both mutable. Gemini is that air mutability. Spirit is I think. And Virgo, that spirit is I analyze. So Mercury deals with both of those. And both of those spirits, when you meditate on the planet Mercury, will be related. And the final planet of the interior planets is Venus. Venus, when you meditate on Venus, deals with personal magnetism, the social and love urge. And I also want to throw in Venus deals with beauty, the goddess of beauty, right? And again, love is already mentioned. So the need for harmony and exchange of feelings and affection with others. Venus is our need to form relationships and our power to attract such relationships. Also, tying in with that is our sense of values based on what attracts or repels us. That personal magnetism playing again. Venus is the planet of Taurus and of Libra, so that's the earth and the air. Taurus is the spirit of Taurus is I have. The spirit of Libra is I balance. Both of those spirits will be related when meditating with the planet Venus. So now we're going to go into the next section of superior planets, or next section of planets, which I call the superior planets. And these planets connect ourselves with a larger order. So we're going out of our interior selves and connecting to ourselves with the larger order. You see, the first planet is Mars. Mars is also kind of tied in with the interior planets because Mars is that point where it's like it's the instinct of yourself to go out and conquer challenges and things of that. And we'll get into Mars a little. Some people consider it as part of the interior planets, is what I'm trying to highlight here. Also in the superior planets is Jupiter and Saturn. Let's get into it. Alright, so Mars deals with that faculty of, or that frame of mind of where it represents energy directed outward from the self into the world. It is the energy to initiate action and the ability to meet challenges and overcome obstacles. Mars, we'll get into that a little later. It is the energy, yeah, we did that already. So it also deals with the mindset of the self-assertive and aggressive urge, the sex drive, and the need to achieve our desires. Strong with the urges. That's why it's real close close related to the interior planets, which deal with the interior self. Mars, they say, governs Aries, and that spirit is I am. And under some old, astrological information, it also governed over Scorpio, which is I create. So I guess modernly you would think I am, that spirit relates to Mars, and I create. And the Scorpio I create deals with sex. So I can see why it's closely related. And that sex I create deals with, the sex. And then after you reach coitus is the death. And then the birth of, created out of sex is the birth. Is in that cycle is the sex, the death, and the rebirth. That is how I create, is kind of the concept of it. Alright, and I create in that aspect, and I am are spirits that will be related when you meditate on Mars. So Jupiter is the next superior planet. Well, the spirit or frame of mind or the faculty dealing with Jupiter is the urge to grow beyond our individual limitations and the need to feel part of a larger order. Going further, it promotes personal growth, gives us confidence in ourselves, and trust in a higher power or greater plan. That confidence definitely dealing with that Zeus, and Jupiter is Zeus in the Greek mythology, or Jupiter is Zeus in the Roman mythology. Alright, Jupiter governs the sign of Sagittarius, which is IC. So when you're meditating on Jupiter, IC will be related. And older information, it also governed over I believe, which you can kind of see, or Pisces, which is the spirit is I believe. And you kind of can see that trust in a higher power or greater plan, how I believe will relate to Jupiter. Let's move on. And the last planet in the superior planets is Saturn. Saturn represents the boundaries of the individual, the principle of structure and form. It gives us the ability to endure setbacks and works with discipline and patience toward well-defined aims. I would stress the discipline and the well-defined aims playing, strongly in Saturn, dealing with Saturn. And it also deals with the need for social approval through some kind of tangible achievement. You know what I'm saying? You want to get accomplishment, you want to do things and blend it in with the social fabric. And it also deals with bringing it brings rewards and opportunities through hard work, limitation, and self-discipline. Get your monk on, you know what I'm saying? And Saturn governs Capricorn, which again, that spirit is I use, not abuse, but I use. And in the older information, it also was related with Aquarius, which is I know. And I don't really see to make the connection right quick on Aquarius I know, but definitely that I use. Well, just when you dealing with discipline, you gotta act like you know, basically. So I guess that's how Aquarius and I know would relate. But nonetheless, Capricorn, I use, the spirit I use, and the spirit I know. When you meditate on Saturn, those spirits will be related. Now finally, we're going to deal with the outer planets. The outer planets refer more to the generation of which we are a part of. So now we, get into that social order, but we break it about even further. Break it out even further, the whole generation. And so also the individual, rather than the individual characteristics. Refer more to the generation rather than individual characteristics. Planets include Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Let's move through. Alright. Uranus represents powerful forces that are beyond conscious control, breaking down the boundaries of ego, which I symbolize that Saturn situation, to allow the inflow. So this is where Uranus is, to allow the inflow of higher ideals and goals into our ego-centered minds. After we done ran through the Saturn discipline situation and got our ego-centered, you want those higher ideals and goals to flow through, and that's Uranus right there. This can often mean the total disruption or destruction of our existing lives, goals, or outer and inner structures in order to make this possible. So Uranus, as you see, is looking down lower. It deals with Aquarius, and Aquarius, one of the features of Aquarius, if we get into that, is a bohemian kind of they have a bohemian kind of characteristic, and that's that disruption or destruction of existing lives, goals, inner and outer structures. That's how that bohemian aspect comes in. It represents the force for revolutionary change. There you go again with that bohemian. The breaking from the tradition and inventiveness and experimentation. Again, Uranus governs Aquarius, and the spirit for Aquarius is I know. So when you're meditating on Uranus, I know will be related. And Neptune. Alright, Neptune. The spirit for Neptune deals with the urge to escape from our normal sense-bound state of consciousness, using the five senses, and experience our unity with a different level of reality. Alright, continuing on. It is the realm of dreams and imagination, and our sense of being part of a whole which is greater than ourselves, the awareness of a spiritual dimension to existence. So kind of getting into that intuition area, you know, outside of the five senses, you get to that sixth sense. And Neptune also, meditating on it, it deals with the urge to transcend our normal state of conscious through meditation and mystical experience, through music, dreams, and flights of the imagination, or through drugs, including alcohol. You know, them acid, pop that. But anyways, I don't want to act like I'm promoting that. But hey, that's what Neptune deals with, and Neptune governs the sign of Pisces, and the spirit of Pisces is I believe. And I guess when you lose that, you step outside of the reality of the five senses, you're going to have to lean on that spirit of I believe a little bit more. So when meditating on Neptune, the spirit of I believe will be related. And that rounds out. Oh no, it doesn't. Next is the planet Pluto. How could I forget? Maybe because they keep saying it's not a planet, then they keep saying it is. But anyways, Pluto represents powerful forces of death and destruction, or change and transformation. But continuing on, the urge for power and control, either over ourselves or others. You gotta kind of watch that Pluto power. It's like they got that snap power out of nowhere, because the last planet is coming out of nowhere. And yeah, you can't even see these last three planets that I mentioned, the outer limit planets. You can't even see those with the naked eye. Those are planets you can't see with the naked eye. All right, and continuing on with meditating on the facet of Pluto, it is the need to penetrate beneath the surface of experience to reveal hidden motivations and repressed desires. Pluto governs over the sign of Scorpio, and the spirit of Scorpio is I create. So when meditating with Pluto, the spirit of I create will be related. And that rounds out meditation on the planets, you know what I'm saying, using the planets as a tool to kind of tune in ourselves with different facets of ourselves. And again, I did some other segments. If you want to focus in on your meditations, I started with the segment on the chakras to deal with your local body. Also meditation on the elements, so you get up beyond your body and meditate using your environment, the nature in your environment. And then this segment was dealing with meditation through the planets, which is beyond our nature and our environment here on Earth. So you kind of spread it out, so you get your whole full meditation, full local to full expansive meditation on. This has been another fly segment of Eazystar's Variety Society. Thanks for tuning in. If you missed any of the other segments, I'll list a link you can go check them out at. Holla at ya boy. You like that, Brandon?